We are so stereotyped in our backline, it's just not true. We advertise what we're going to do next. It's so obvious. Either it's going to be a high kick and charge, or it's going to go to the inside center, and then it's going to die, and it's going to be a loose ball, and it's going to come out again to a prop, and he's going to run into somebody else, and that's old-fashioned rugby, you know. I really hope that Heineken would bring in a new dimension in our rugby, but it doesn't seem that it's happening. The last guy that had a fantastic record in South African rugby, when Nick Mallet was the coach. Now Nick Mallet is sitting in Naas Das Sportkas talking about rugby instead of being on the field coaching rugby. A combination of Nick Mallet and somebody like Jake White, that's the type of people we need in our rugby. But it seems that the big bosses, the top brass, don't like these guys for what they did in the past, whether they sinned or whether they upset them, I don't know. But certainly there are people in South Africa that are technically so sound, rugby knowledge so excellent, that we can do much better than we are doing.
In fairness, as humorous as that is, in fairness, that was a year ago.
No, totally. but I thought, let's play it. That was an interview with Leon Schuster from the now defunct Sports Illustrated show a year ago after we lost the All Blacks in Soweto, and or at Soccer City, and just quite interesting to hear what he was saying and the thoughts that were going around in the country. And then you think about what's going on with Bok Rugby now, and it's come full circle in terms of changing.
He makes a great point, though. And in fairness, the things that he was having issues with are the things that have changed and made a better Springbok side. So, and we all said it when Heineken did eventually you sort of see the light and make some changes, that we said this is what the public wanted. And it's the first time I've ever seen that in my life, a little bit of public pressure or whatever, or maybe his players were injured, but either way, saw the light, and we're reaping the rewards. Woo.
Absolutely. Anyway, welcome to Driving More, where blokes judge rugby on Loud Radio. Sharky, big weekend for Franco van der Merwe. The big man finally gets a test jumper off the bench versus the All Blacks on his home ground in what effectively is a final. What a way to debut.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy. It's great. He's been part of the Heineken setup since the very beginning, and the tackle bag captain.
Yeah,
and it could be on Saturday. I really hope it is.
Yeah, it's awesome. I can't wait. And while one international career begins, it looks like another one has ended. James O'Connor's had his Wallaby contract torn up, leaving the prodigiously talented yet errant youngster in limbo, because we stand corrected, but if you don't have a contract with the ARU, you can't play for an Australian franchise
in Super Rugby. So, because that was the whole thing when we were going through what is happening with Quade Cooper, etc., etc. Is he going to go to league? Can he go somewhere else? And Reds turned, or Ewan McKenzie, when he's still at the Reds, said, well, he's still contracted with us and they are you, so he'll stay. So that's the way we understand it. My understanding subsequently is that I believe that they've kind of said to him, listen, we're letting you go for a year. I think it's off for a year. I speak under correction. Maybe that under that ruling, they said, listen, you're off for a year. We're not even going to think or consider you. You can play wherever you want. If you want to play for the Wallabies after a year, we'll consider it. So maybe he goes away. He's a free agent. Might be worthwhile going to play some rugby overseas, make some more money that he can spend on sex, drugs, and rock and roll. I don't know.
Ja, ek weet nie, but we'll keep a close eye on that one, because he really, I mean, in terms of the talent on a field, there's just so much potential and so much pleasure as a neutral to watch a guy play rugby. But rumour has it it's Saracens in February, so we'll keep a close eye on that.
Really?
Yeah. On talking Saracens, it's time for some Aviva Premiership news. The weekend got off to a game on Friday night. Northampton entertained Sale Sharks 5-1, 33-14. Northampton winning. George North with his first for the Saints.
Definitely not his last. I think he'll be up there with the top try scorers, top 5 definitely by the end of the year.
And then on Saturday there were 3 games. Saris put an end to their perfect start to the season. They continued with the 100% win ratio, but they didn't pick up their bonus points.
I was like, yeah, hang on a second, what are you talking about?
Yeah, in fact, only one try in the entire game for Chris Ashton, and a 22-12 win over Harlequins.
Quite surprisingly, that was a 10-point is quite a large victory against the Quins.
At the Stoop.
So, yeah, so that I'm sure they'll take that and not take a 4-try bonus point.
Then the second game on Saturday, London Wasps 4-1 over Worcester Warriors, 32-16 the final score there. Bath thrashed London Irish 4-2, 33-18 the final score. But for Irish, Shane Geraghty scored all 18 of their points, 2 tries, a conversion and 2 penalties.
Not bad. I missed that. I was damn it! I can't do 2 things at once. But that's it's a great performance, and he's. I think I saw him last year or last week or something. His name does ring a bell. He's pretty handy. So.
And then on Sunday, Gloucester 2-1 over Newcastle, 22-16 win, and Leicester beat Exeter Chiefs 21-9 with a 2-0 victory. What it means in the table is that position 1 is still Saracens, 4 points clear of Northampton and Leicester. Bath in 4th, and Harlequins down in 5th. Worcester Warriors yet to pick up a win. They've got 1 point for losing by less than 7 at some stage. So not looking good for them. It looks like it might be straight up, straight down. This weekend's game, Sale entertain Bath on Friday night.
That's going to be quite a tough one. Sale have kind of been flickering around. They've been up there. They've played 4-1-2, lost 2, and they could easily roll Bath. Bath have only lost 1 game, but the Viva Prem's it's been a bit unpredictable at stages. Not as bad as the top 14. Let's be honest, which we've got a bombshell ladder, but that could go either way. But I think Bath should take that.
And then London Irish, which, again, their name is just so misleading because they play their rugby at the Majeski Stadium in Reading, which is quite a distance outside of London. They take on Harlequins on Saturday. Sarries take on Wasps, Worcester Warriors, Newcastle Falcons, and then the big one, Saturday afternoon, Leicester versus Northampton. That should be a humdinger. Big
one. Leicester... reigning champs at the moment, and Northampton have always been in the mix. I don't know when last they won it. I think it was about 6-7 years ago. So, but I think Leicester should roll them. And Gloucester Exeter on Sunday.
Yeah,
that should be quite a tough one. It's a bit difficult now. It's 4 games into the season, and there's a lot of players that have moved out in a way that I'm trying to sort of keep an eye on. And there's a lot of youngsters coming through. Yeah. I forget his name now. Plays on the wing for Gloucester. I wanted him to go on the tour.
Wade?
No. Damn it. He scored a couple of tries this weekend. I'll get his name in a bit. But they got some good wingers in Gloucester, looking pretty handy. I still think they're going to be in the mix at the end of the year.
But for the England coach, not such good news, because potential England players and guys within the fringes of the squad picking up injuries, as well as some key players. Obviously, Barrett and Tuilagi, the 2 biggest that we can talk about. And the flanker.
Rob Shaw.
Was it Rob Shaw?
I'm quite sure it was.
Or was it Moody? No, he's retired. Anyway, so there's plenty of injuries happening there. Anyway, on to the top 14. And on Friday night, Stade Francais beat Montpellier 18-11.
Tight game. I thought Montpellier might be able to roll Stade, but again, this knack of not winning away from home is quite prevalent.
Yeah, well, Bastille comes to the fore, really, which is the French word for fortress, and it seems that the home grounds are basically impenetrable, because in this weekend's round, there were no away wins, just 1 draw. The rest were all home wins. Perpignan beat Toulouse 2016, which is also an interesting result, because Perpignan had an up and down season.
Actually, I said last week that McAllister's been kind of a little bit off the ball, and unfortunately for Toulouse, when he's not going really hard at it, they do seem to suffer a little bit, but they haven't been firing this year, so it's a big win for Perpignan.
And then Grenoble Brive 12-all, not much to talk about there because they're both down the bottom end of the table. Castres beat Racing Metro 19-15. Rory Cockett with a couple of penalties to seal that one. And again, but another up and down season for Castres. They also played 4-1-4, and basically that's how the log reads. Nobody's really stretched out a big lead at the top. Bayonne beat Biarritz in a bottom of the table clash, which leaves Biarritz far adrift at the base now.
Well, they've only won 1 out of their last 8. 1 out of the 8 for the season, and that's going to be tough for them. They've got some fairly decent players there, so they need to pull finger.
Yeah. And then INA keep providing the shock of the season. They've shocked us by beating Clermont. They've shocked us by beating Castres. And now they've shocked us by beating Toulon with fly half Benjamin Udapelita slotting an 80th minute drop goal to win the match. And they had 2 yellow cards in the last 50 minutes against the superstars of Toulon and held on to sneak the win at the end.
It's massive for them. They're sitting 4th from bottom at the moment, and they've just been promoted. So that result for them is huge. They need to just keep their home record going and try and sneak a couple of away wins, and they'll be very, very safe.
And then guess what, Jockey?
Clermont take another win
at home.
65?
Might even be 66. Whatever it is, it's ridiculous. But this game was even more ridiculous because my dad doesn't watch a lot of top 14, but he found nothing else to watch on Sunday, so he thought he'd watch it. And he's decided he's never watching French rugby again because of this game. The final score was 40 points to 11, but the big talking point was 7 yellow cards in the game. 5 for Bordeaux, who played the last 7 minutes with 12 men on the park. 2 for Clermont. I'd love to catch a replay of that because it was probably a filth fest.
Well, the first card came in the 25th minute to Bordeaux, and then the 28th minute to Clermont, so that was pretty much even. And then in the 53rd minute, Morgan Parra off for Clermont, and Gibeon, I'm not familiar with him, off for Bordeaux. And then in the 66th minute, the 68th minute, and the 73rd minute, Bordeaux lost 3 guys. It is diabolical.
So they basically played the last 27 minutes bar 3 with 14, 13, 12 on the park.
No wonder they took a hiding, 40-11. But anyway, Clermont riding high at home. They've been unbeaten for nearly 2.5 years at home in any competition.
It's ridiculous.
Man, I want to go there. Please, can someone send me there? I'd like to go there and watch a game, preferably a Heineken Cup. While I'm asking.
Sorry, the Yellow Caps just asking who the winners for the Aviva Premiership were. On Sunday, Leicester beat Exeter 21-9. Gloucester beat Newcastle 22-16. Bath beat London Irish on Saturday 33-18. London Wasps 32-16 over Worcester Warriors. Harlequins lost 12-22 at home to Sarries, and Northampton thumped Sale 33-14 on Friday. That Clermont game was a proper shocker, really, in terms of behaviour. What it means is Stade Francais sit pretty at the top of the French Orange top 14. Clermont, Toulon, and Montpellier and Toulouse and Racing are all within a bonus point win of joining them. But yeah, as I said, I mean, there's only 10 points between first and second last, and between first and sixth there are 5 points. So you know it'll just swap and change the whole way through. No one's really pulling away. There's normally been like 3 or 4 sides that eventually pull away at the end, but the sixth spot is 5 points off, and 7th and 8th are 6 points off. So it's pretty tight. And then, so this weekend, first game was Friday. Biarritz entertained Perpignan, and on their form, Biarritz, you would think, would take a hiding. Yeah, it would take a hiding, but Perpignan, they're at home. Perpignan haven't won away from home this season. Well, I'd say Perpignan will definitely win at home. I think they'll get a bonus point win out of this. I think Biarritz are cucking off at the moment, and they need to dig deep, and I don't think it'll be this week. Then Clermont, as good as they are at home, they've lost 3 of their 4 away games. They take on Toulon, who will be smarting after their loss to Oyonnax. So Saturday, that could be entertaining. That'll be the game of the weekend, along with that Northampton Leicester game. Definitely, Clermont's best time ever to get an away win over Toulon. Because next week they've got reeling half the box side back. Correct. And they're also Clermont have named a new youngster, and I forget his name, on flank. I know Jamie Cudmore mentioned on Twitter that they've got a new guy starting, so he's pretty handy, judging from what Jamie Cudmore has to say. So looking forward to watching the guys play. Middle of the table clash between Bordeaux and, in fact, bottom of the table really, and Bayonne. In fact, it Flip is. Flip that coin, my guy. Yeah, totally. Draw. It's a great shot. I'm holding it. Cancelled due to lack of interest, really. Yeah. Brief take on Castres. Again, Castres' away form. They've lost 4 out of 4, so You can't really judge that one. Montpellier, Ione outstanding at home. Montpellier outstanding at home.
Both terrible away.
Yeah, so you just have to go with a big Montpellier win. But who knows with this Ione side. Racing take on Grenoble, and then Toulouse entertain Stade Francais in a game that could see Toulouse actually go above Stade in the log, even though they're in fifth and first respectively, depending on how the result goes.
True story. It's first and fifth playing each other, but it's so tight up there, and I think we could be in for 3 away wins this weekend in the top 14.
Yeah, Yellow Cap, just to confirm, Sharky thinks Clermont will beat Toulon at home, although more to the point, he thinks that they've the best opportunity to do it with them smarting and struggling.
Yeah, I do.
I just can't see it happening.
Correct. I think it's a great time. I think they might still be hurting a little bit, but I would never put money on it.
Well, what did I just do there? No, man.
Made a boo-boo. Surprise.
Oh, no. Oh, my.
Anyway, while you're busy faffing,
I hit the wrong button. We're going to go listen to some music. We'll be back after this.
Nothing wrong with that.
Welcome back to Driving More. A little bit of Eddie Vedder double header.
I can just see you standing in the mirror saying that.
As I said it, it was like maybe that worked quite well in the end. Right, on to ITM Cup. And the big news coming out of New Zealand before we get onto that, well, I suppose it is ITM Cup. Corey Jane is back for Wellington Lions this weekend after the better part of 8 months out with a knee injury.
Can't wait.
Yeah, I'm looking for it. I'll watch that game just for it because they're playing Auckland in a top-of-the-table clash as well. So should be thoroughly entertaining.
I'm a big fan of Corey Jane. I think his move to wing has been a great one, but he covers very well at fullback, and he always provides options. So very dangerous.
Yeah, and I thoroughly love watching him play. Yeah, I held it back. Results from this weekend. Look, the big one to talk about was the big clash that had us all excited. Auckland taking on Canterbury. In the end, it was a bit of a non-event.
0 points for flipping Super Brew for me, my guy.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I thought Canterbury going to win this.
Yeah, no. Look, I don't play Super Brew on ITM Cup, Aviva Premiership, or Top 14 just because my form on Curry Cup and Rugby Championship and Super Rugby has been so cuck this year that I just decided to extricate myself from the equation. But Auckland ended up beating Canterbury 39-19, although it was 32-7 at half-time, so a slightly better second half for Canterbury. Must have been a 15-point win. The 5 tries to 3 in the end for Auckland. What it means is that they move up to within 3 points of Wellington at the top, and Canterbury are 4 adrift of them.
And Wellington, Auckland are taking on this week, and winner
gets a home final. Pretty much guaranteed.
Championship, Premiership.
Premiership.
Why do you put them the wrong way around?
Oh, because that's how they come.
Okay.
But the Premiership, essentially, if Wellington beat Auckland, they will have secured a home semi and probably a home final with 1 game to go. In fact, they would have.
Yeah.
Not probably.
No, it's done. Done.
The other results from this week, this morning, South African time, Hawke's Bay beat Southland 23-15.
It wasn't such a thumping. It was an 8-7 game at halftime, and rather tedious. Southland scored a great try, coming off 10 moved it, and the 12 came in for Great Line Halahula. Great Line slightly forward, but made the try. You can tell him that when you see him, but yeah, pretty decent. And then Hawke's Bay just closed it out and really finished them off. And Southland were desperately looking for a bonus point because they needed that just 1 bonus point to help them out for their sort of knockouts and stuff.
Yeah. And then yesterday, a bit of a surprise result. Not so much in the fact that Tasman beat Waikato, because they are obviously top of the championship, and
0 points on Super Brew there for me.
Waikato are struggling in the lower half of the Premiership, but it was the manner in which it happened. 64 points to 28, 9 tries to 4, Tasman thumping the Waikato.
There's a J playing for Tasman with the surname of Swanepoel. Is actually he's South African born, but I think he moved to Oz when he was about 5 or 6. He's been playing quite a bit there. He's been capped in the age group levels for Australia. So that's another one that they've moved over. Yeah.
One of Jake White's boys. Yeah, and then on Sunday another big result: Hawke's Bay 55, North Harbour 10, 7 tries to 1 for the Bay. Bay of Plenty Counties Manukau, the Ranfurly Shield holders, obviously the Ranfurly Shield not up for grabs in this one because they're playing away, but a last gasp Baden-Kerr penalty snatched it for Counties to win 31-30. Otago Southland on Saturday, 5 tries to 4. Southland scored 2 late tries to win this one, 38-32. Manawa 2, Taranaki 12-6, enough said of that. Auckland 39, Auckland 39, Canterbury 19. We've already discussed that one. And then on Friday, Wellington beat Waikato 19-14, 3 tries to 1 to keep themselves on top of the Premiership in the ITM Cup.
ITM Cup. We need to give predictions for this next round coming through.
Yara toch. Look, tomorrow Manawatu take on Northland. I'm going to go with a where's the log?
Where? Oh, yes. Right.
Southland played Hawke's Bay already today.
I think Northland should be able to take this one. I know...
Well, it's a bottom of the table clash, really.
Yeah.
So it's...
I think I'm going to go with Northland. It's slightly off the mark there. It's tough, eh?
I'm going to go with Manawatu to steal it.
I'm going with Northland to sneak a massive upset.
Bio of Plenty Waikato. I think the Waikato are going to bounce back from their shocking loss yesterday and absolutely trounce the Bop, because the Bop are just...
Well, if you're looking at the Premiership, Waikato are 5th and Bay of Plenty are 7th, which all both bottom of the tables, pretty much bottom of the table, and it's going to be a tough one. I think I'm going to go with another little underdog shot here, Bay of Plenty.
Look, they're nothing games, because Waikato obviously can't make the semis now. The 4 semi-finalists.
There's a relegation involved there.
Yes, no, I know that, but they are also fully 7 points clear of them. So the Bop will be fighting to stay up, and Waikato will be uninterested, really. But I'm still going with the Waikato win. North Harbour, Otago. Otago's form is just so all over the place this season, and North Harbour aren't much better. In fact, they're worse. So I'm going to have to go with an Otago win, although Otago have been shocking away from home. So I would still go with Otago to sneak it, and they are also fighting for that 4th semi-final spot, which is why Manawatu might be in with a shout in their earlier game.
I'm going to go with Otago as well for a win.
Wellington, Auckland. That should be a crackerjack, and I'm going to go with Wellington shading it on the back of a Corrie Jane brace.
Jesus, really?
Yeah, the brace they put on his knee when they carry him off the park again.
Wellington 8 from 8 from 8, and Auckland have only lost 1. I'm going to go with Auckland. Auckland by 8.
In the Cape Town?
Yeah.
Oh, you're mad. Canterbury Counties Manukau. Look, that's a battle for who plays the top side. Who plays the top side in the semi, really?
And Canterbury have come off 2 losses in the last 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So that could be a shout for either way. That's really a tough one to call. I'm going to go with Counties.
I'll take your word for it. Taranaki Tasman. That's a cross championship game, and Tasman on their form, Taranaki on their form. Gonna have to go with the Tasman winner.
Yeah.
And then rounding it off, Northland Otago next week Wednesday. Again, you got to look at 2 different logs and try and figure things out. That's bottom versus mid-table, and again Otago fighting for their semi. So
it's going to change after the next game.
Yeah. So let's go with an Otago. See, I told you, Yellow Cap. What do we know? Don't bet the house on anything we say in terms of scores, folks. So that is that. Moving on to domestic rugby, where we've got a better strike rate in terms of predictions. It is time to chat Currie Cup, and first of all, the big news that's come out of the Currie Cup is obviously there was a proposal put forward to expand the Premier Division to 8 teams in 2014. It was rejected by a special general council meeting of the Saru provinces, with this whole weird thing where they've each got 2 votes and then the president's only got 1, so they just said no. A second proposal, which was dependent on the success of the first, that the Lions be entrenched in Super Rugby for the next 2 years, therefore fell away. So the Lions will have to play playoffs, or the bottom South African franchise will have to play a playoff. And if it's the Lions, it'll be them against the Kings.
There's still a lot happening with Sanzar and stuff like that, with the reintroduction, also with the re-signing for new contracts after 2015. So I think there's a hell of a lot more coming in terms of Super Rugby. Currie Cup wise, I'm happy with the decision, because the guys, we're spreading ourselves quite thin in Super Rugby already, and Currie Cup is starting to take a bit of heat as well, because we're losing so many of our internationals during the majority of the Currie Cup. However, the teams coming in that will be coming in are going to be they're going to be dealt in the beginning, and it'll definitely bring up their rugby and definitely expose a lot more guys.
Well, nobody came up last year.
I know, but they would get beaten.
Yeah, exactly. On to the weekend's results, and the first game on Friday was Province versus the Free State, and a little bit of a seesaw game. In the end, Dimitri Katra-Kick is good with the drop kick to snatch it. The kid is so cool under pressure, and when you watch it again, Louis Schroeder turns around to pass the ball to him, the ref's in the way, so he has to pull his pass back. When he lets it go, the cover defense coming out is almost on top of Katrakilis, and he still calmly slots it straight down the middle under pressure to nab the 2-point win for Province.
Yeah, it was a great one to do it, and I was actually chatting to a couple of guys. A lot of guys were having a go at Nick Groom. Funny enough, I thought he had a pretty decent game. He did miss one tackle against Robbie Everson that set up a try. But let's be honest, who has Robbie Everson not beaten this season and during Super Rugby? He's been quite a talent, but Groomy missed a bad tackle there. And I really thought that Alistair Coetzee would stick with him, bringing Katrakilis in. I mean, those two have played together through varsity and stuff like that, but not the case.
It's the rotation thing that he's done with his halfbacks for so long. Who knows? But highlight of the game for me was the angle for Cheslin Colby.
Yeah.
For his try.
Man, he gets through so much work. He's unbelievable. That kid is going to go places. I really enjoy watching him play. In the end, though, the Cheetahs outscored Province 3 tries to 2. They did. Which is no surprise. With 2 intercepts, 1 intercept.
I don't know.
It was definitely 1 intercept. Henny Danila took 1, and then it was a good try, his second one, to finish it off. And Sarpa Torres put a little bit of the chill on the Province boys with nearly winning it at the end.
He did. And the other thing I wanted to talk about was... What was it? Oh, yes, that's right. Province have now got a net effect of no positives in the try-scoring department. They've scored 18, conceded 18 in 8 games of rugby this season, and yet they still sit joint top of the table. Talking top of the table, the Sharks. What a game this was in terms of who's going to win it. It starts off with Freddie Zeelinger, 2 drop kicks, a try, a conversion, and a penalty in the first 20 minutes. Arguably the fastest full house in professional rugby, and I challenge anyone to find me one that happened faster. It was inside 20 minutes he managed to land the lot, and he missed a penalty because he could have actually had it 3 minutes earlier.
I'm a big fan, and I know I said so last week. I think the guy's quality and his kicking needs to be worked on. What is his conversion in terms of kicks? Do you know?
I think he missed 2, eh?
Yeah, it's understandable considering he's 6, so he made 4 of 6. So,
but
it's okay.
But this game was even more interesting from the fact that by the time he got his full house, the Sharks were leading 16-3. The halftime score was 20-16 in favour of the Lions. And then the Sharks went out and won the second half by 15 points to 5. On the way, no, they didn't pick up a bonus point try. Kobus Reinach with an outstanding little break for his.
How much gas does that guy have?
No, it's superb. And the Sharks stole a 6-point win to keep themselves top on points differential in the Currie Cup this season. On Saturday, sadly, I got this one horribly wrong. I went with the Griquas narrow victory based on the form of the Bulls, but the Bulls do this year in, year out. Yes. They play like absolute toilet until just before their box come back, and then they up the ante, sneak into the semis, which essentially right now they're 1 point behind the Cheetahs for semi-final spot, and they've got to, and the Sharks have to travel to Loftus on Friday in a tricky game, really.
It's a massive game for the Sharks. They need to close that out against the Bull side that are flying high at the moment. And I think I went with the Bulls win. I think I may have gone with the Bulls win, but I definitely didn't make it 32.
42. Try again.
Correct.
And it was only 15-10 at half time, which I thought, awesome, on. Then I went wandering off down to Newlands to go watch some test rugby, and when I checked my phone in the stands, was like, what the hell happened there? Needless to say, it means Griquas are pretty much out of the running for a semi-final spot with 2 games to go. They could still sneak it, but it's unlikely.
Playoff as well, isn't it, this year? Is there a playoff?
Yeah, against the winner of the B division, and those semis have been decided as well. We can pull them up just now. The Griquas take on Bulls takes on the Sharks at Loftus on Friday.
Sorry to interrupt you. So there's 2 rounds left until we go into knockouts, right?
Yeah. And the last one is next weekend, with Province taking on the Sharks in Kaapstad, with all the box back, with a home final on the cards.
Sure.
So those boys are going to play 2 finals in the space of 2 weeks, 3 weeks, apparently. Bulls Sharks at Loftus on Friday. Griquas Free State Saturday. Province Lions Saturday. Both those games kicking off at 2 p.m.
Should we do our Super Breeze now?
Well, let's just run through the teams before we do that. The games the following weekend are Lions Griquas, Free State Bulls, and Sharks Province, which means Lions
in Durban.
Yes, you're right. Which means Lions are probably guaranteed a semi-final spot, and the Bulls and the Cheetahs will be slugging it out for the 4th one. So there'll be a home final battle going on in Durban, and a home and an away semi-final battle going on in Bloemfontein. On to the sides. I couldn't find a Bulls side, so I couldn't tell you what's going on there. But Kobus Reinach, Jean Duisel and Jacques Boudis have been included in the starting lineup for the Sharks. SP Maria continues. Tim Whitehead and Heimer Williams.
Timmy, 3 on the trot. Come on, my boy. And Heimer Williams is the machine.
And between the 3 of them, they're keeping Louis Ludik out of the side, along with Odwin Dangani and Luwazi Mbovu. Freddie Zeelinger continues. Reinach joins him. That's the magic combination for me in 2 or 3 years' time for the Sharks, if they can hold them together.
I agree. I'm a big fan of Reinach, but he kind of, when he came back from injury, wasn't really where he was, where he should be. And
I don't know.
What's his name?
Heimer Williams.
No. What have I done?
Get off of my cloud.
Okay. Well, McLeod came in and played a couple of decent games, so it's interesting. But I'm glad Reinach is starting again, and looking forward to see the youngsters. I mean, let's be honest, 9, 10, 12, 13, 15, very young.
I don't know what up to speak to the people at Supersport, because they never have the Bulls team up, and I don't really go into anything else when I'm reading my sports news.
Bulls. I got the Bulls team for you. Okay, so Bulls have got myself and Amava, Bonambi, and Kirsten up front. Paul Willemsen, David Bulbring locking, and we got Vian Liebenberg, Jacques Duplessis, John Ross, with obviously John Ross captaining. Rudy Page, Andre Pollard, 9-10. Centre pairing of Francois Fenter and William Small-Smith. That's going to be interesting to watch him. And your back 3 are Bjorn Besson, Akono Ngani, and Jurgen Visser at fullback.
So it's tidy back line.
Yeah, pretty handy. William Small-Smith
at Loftus.
Yeah, going to be good.
I am going to have to go with a Bulls 3-point win there, my boy.
No, my friend. Sharks by 8.
Huge. On to Griquas Cheetahs. Buddha Hemmons had to make 3 changes to his side. He's pulled in a guy from the Falker because he's run out of players. Narka Drotsky's named his strongest team, with Pete Lindeke switching wings with the injury to Rian Smith and Raymond Rule coming back into the side. The rest is pretty much unchanged. Lut de Jager, 20 years old. That kid is going to be immense if he keeps playing the way he plays. What is it? Griquas Free State. I'm just going to go with the Free State running Griquas all over the place and winning by 25.
I'm going to go Free State by 19.
And then Province Lions.
It's going to be a tough game.
Well, as we said, DCAT is back in the 10 jumper. Elton Janchis is injured for the Lions. Franco van der Merwe is in the Springbok squad. So it's an interesting mix that's going on there, because Manat Boshoff moves from fullback to fly half. Andries Kutsia comes in at fullback. Lionel Mapua and Lionel Cronero are the centres, taking on a Province side that is pretty much unchanged aside from Schroeder and Katrakiles, as we said, and I think Elstead coming back into the sides, but I stand corrected. Yes, it would be. The And then Skalkberg continues his gradual return to rugby off the bench. Glad to see that they're not rushing him. I just think Province are going to be too strong for the Lions in Cape Town, and especially without Franco there to add some grunt and Elton pulling the strings. Not that Milos Bosov is shy of anything, but I just think Katrakilis is going to show the tactical nous that makes him such an outstanding Currie Cup player, and Province will win by 10.
Province by 19.
Right, we're going to go to some music quickly. When we come back, it's time to talk Rugby Championship, #ref stress, Bokke, All Blacks, Ellis Park. Bring it on, baby.
Where's the cool cat?
I actually can't contain myself anymore, and that song was just like not quite where I thought it would be. There was a little bit of Jackson Brown cocaine, but enough of that because I want to talk Rugby Championship.
Oh man, alive! I'm just gonna have my moan. Can I have my moan?
In a sec, you can have your moan right after
No,
this.
I want to have moan now.
No, I just want to, before we get into that, just some news in terms of the Rugby Championship. England will play New Zealand 4 times in a row next year after the All Blacks were named among their opponents for the November internationals, and they go to New Zealand for 3 tests in June. Now you can have your moan.
I really think that. I just think that knob end and IRB really just completely screwed us over. Forget the All Blacks getting a 4-try bonus point this past weekend. It's just...
Should I play this while we talk about knob ends and ref stress?
Yes, please. We're going to have some decent background music for this. Because the clowns that are IRB have cocked us so badly. In my opinion, the All Blacks should have 1 point less, because I don't believe they would have got a 4-try bonus point. They may have, but there was a very good chance they would not have got it against us in New Zealand. I also believe that we would have, had we lost by less than 7, would have got 1. So I believe the All Blacks should be a point less, and the Springboks should be a point more. That makes this game on the weekend a win or lose championship final thriller.
Yeah,
absolute
it's a 2-point swing.
And that's what upsets me.
No, but what upsets me more is what went on at Newlands on Saturday. But before we talk about that, let's just
none of us can multitask here, clearly.
I know. I can't be playing that while I'm talking about proper stuff. But New Zealand did what they needed to in order to put the onus on the Boks this weekend by securing their bonus point, with Ben Smith second with 32 seconds remaining on the clock. And I mean, that was just such a tired Argentinian tackle. I know Smith is strong, but really, you've got to take your man down there. Not that, I mean, that was Lomu Capta-esque about it. But the RGs made them work for it. It was 11-9 at half-time to New Zealand. RGs led 12-9 early in the second 40, and they drilled the Kiwis at scrum time properly. So things bode well there. Ma Nonu with a sublime piece of skill for Smith's first try.
That is one of the best offloads I've seen. I've watched it a number of times. He's taken a dummy switch, and then he's just somehow made the ball levitate out his hand to hold an air for
in the
Smith
same
to come through.
movement
Brilliant.
as the dummy. It was like, and he was hit in a tackle at the same time. Conversely, go find on Supersport the filth of Nonu that is being played there, that's come out of New Zealand with all the high shots and shoulder charges. I mean, Butch James is seen as a pariah in world rugby, but Ma Nonu is like lauded as one of the greats of the game, and it's bullshit in my opinion, getting back to sightings and the IRB. But New Zealand did what they needed to do. The Bokke, however, flattered to deceive in the opening 20 minutes at Newlands. They got the crowd on their feet, scoring 2 tries and a point a minute spree in the first 20, including arguably their try of the season. Finished by Sideshow Bob, but the pass from Jean de Villiers was one of the best he's ever thrown in his life, considering it was to his right, so it was off his left. And it was a thing of beauty, not a hand laid on any of the backs in the build-up, and then we just disappeared for 50 minutes, and it didn't make
maybe it's the air in Western Province, maybe it's Newlands. Because let's be honest, Western Province can't score bonus points, and South Africa were on flippin' fire, and we just didn't get it, and that 1 point is crucial.
No, totally. But then we disappeared for 50 minutes, and what I didn't get was we kicked a touch twice in the first 20-odd minutes without success, took a penalty, then Hooper gets sent off, so they packs a man down, and we take the 3.
Yeah,
And then we don't do anything.
The Aussies did. I don't think it was necessarily a bad idea to take the 3. It was. We still had another 10 minutes with him in the bin, but after that, the Aussies came out firing. I mean, they were 14. They had 14 men on the field, and they looked like they had 16. It was crazy.
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, we also had 2 yellow cards in the first half, and the second one for Flip went on into the second half. And in my opinion, at the time, I stood up to go for a pee as I watched the replay, and I said, that's a straight red. And it should have been. And it's ludicrous refereeing, and that went to the TMO, and the TMO still got it wrong.
Yeah.
And I know it worked in favour of the box, but at least we can bitch about it now from a perspective that we're not being one-eyed, because it was a cuck decision.
I had a look at it, and I was just... I think the yellow was right. I don't think he was... How do I say this? I don't think he was being malicious. If you look at the way he's gone into contact, it's not right the way he's done, but he's not looking at the player trying to hurt him. I don't know what the hell he's doing, because that's not how you tackle, or I don't know if he's trying to grab the guy and flip him. I don't know what he's doing.
Forearm to the face.
But he hasn't technically led. He's kind of going and leaning. It's just weird. I can't explain it, but I don't think it should have been a straight red. I think a yellow is right, and then he's got 3 weeks now.
One. Conversely,
for him
though,
not to be involved with the All Blacks, coincidentally.
Conversely, I didn't think that the Michael Hooper incident was a card at all. You know, the guy stands up. He stands up trying to grab him. Sure, he flips him, but it's not like I just didn't think it was dangerous.
No, yellow card.
It was.
Okay. He's taken him past the horizontal. He hasn't brought him down
He
safely.
hardly touched him. He took himself past the horizontal.
No, it wasn't. I don't know. I think it was a yellow card. I think it was dangerous.
Okay, fair enough. And then the last bit of ref stress that I do want to talk about is the Australian try should not have been a try. Lambie runs into touch with the ball, and he rolls the ball into the touch judge's foot to make sure that the player outside the game, or somebody outside the game, has touched it, which means you can't take a quick throw. The Wallabies take a quick throw, and off they go. And Lambie still says he can't do that. You see it in the slow-mo replay, but now the Frenchman ignores it. And the Wallabies go
upstairs, have a look. The try's been scored. You've scored the try. Let me just have a look at something quickly. Oh, wait. Apologies. You've got to come back. You can't. It's still your ball. I'm with you 100% of the way. We've got 3 guys. We've got a ref. We've got a TMO. Oh, so we've got a ref and a touch judge that can make that
call. The touch judge knew it had hit him, for fuck's sakes.
Yeah, maybe he's missed. Maybe he's missed it. Maybe he's focusing on a lot of other things.
Net result, though, is Sir Graham Henry is in hot water with Sanzar in the IRB after the following comments on reunion earlier this week.
I missed that, so I'm keen to hear this.
He said, referees and the judicial panel in this season's rugby championship have been totally inconsistent and are a weakness in the game. Well done, Ted. Give that man a beer on me.
Oh, he's done well. He's done well.
Anyway, on to the results. As we said, New Zealand beat Argentina 33-15. They were made to work for it, but they did get the 4th try bonus point.
The most important part about that was that 4th try came in the 80 minutes and 30 something seconds.
79 and 30.
It was absolute. It was. They couldn't have asked for anything better, because with us missing our bonus point win, them gaining it, it changed again. There's been so many things chopping and changing with leading up to this the Springbok All Black clash this weekend, and Smith just monstered them. The Oaks were falling off the tackles. He's run straight over someone.
He's had a sublime season. The Julian Severe try was also something of beauty in the first half, catching it in his own half, running around everyone down the outside. Sam Cane rounded off a great move for his try.
Sam Cane's been pretty solid, eh?
Yeah, well, 4 tries in 10 or 11 tests. It's carry on, son. Never mind everything else that he does around the park, including bleeding every time he plays the bloody game.
Cornet.
Yeah. There we go, Sam Cornet Cane. For the Boks, as we said, Adrian Strauss got over. Also, lovely little move. And can we just say it? Can we just say it? Farid Deprez, if anybody was wondering who the best halfback in the world rugby is right now, for 50 or 60 minutes on Saturday, he was sublime. It's like he's got a ball of ninja dust from one breakdown to the next, because he just arrives. And when you're watching it live, you can't figure out how he does it, because you watch the play happen when you're sitting at Newlands, and then he was there, and it was like, how the hell? Outstanding. And the pass...
It's called shortcuts. called? I played rugby with Johan with Akkers, and I've never seen a man not run on a field but be first at the breakdown. It's unbelievable. The shortcuts. Know the shortcuts. If you know the shortcuts on the rugby field, you are golden. I can't explain them. I don't know where they are, but they are there.
And then Zane Kirshner rounding off, as I said, probably one of the tries of the season for the Boks. Billy Leroux, possibly the finish of the season. I mean, in the space that he had to go in the corner and get that, and he gave Newlands hope. I mean, the place had gone very quiet.
There was 10 minutes left in the game. Yeah. We should really have finished that off.
The place had gone very quiet. But again, I come back to another issue. 3 times the Boks had penalties that they kicked for touch and didn't find their touch trying to go for distance. Now, first rule of rugby when I was playing and coaching, when we were being coached, is when you get your penalty, when you're kicking for touch for the line out, you put it in the stands so that you've got no chance of missing anything.
We've got a big enough pack and an exceptionally good maul that if we need to do it for an extra 5 meters, we can. And that's the difference.
Make sure of the line out.
Yeah, you've got to.
That's the bonus point try there. On those 3 kicks, one of them, in my opinion, could well have turned into a rolling maul for a try. And then Chris Foy-Sauter with his first test try, but again, we think that was a sketchy call. Great crossfield kick by Cooper, but shouldn't have been allowed. What it means...
It was an exceptional kick. Someone tapped it down, or I got the wrong one in my mind?
No, you're thinking of the one before for Kirshner and Lambie.
My bad.
What it means, as we said, is the All Blacks are 5 points clear on the log, which means the Boks have to win by 8 or more and score 4 tries and deny the All Blacks 4 tries at Ellis Park. And if any coach can get a team to do it based on past results in the history of his coaching career, it's Heineken Meyer.
Yes, the whole country is getting behind the Springboks, especially after we all feel like we were pretty hard done by in New Zealand. And the guys want to prove a point. I think Saturday, I think the Boks are going to go out. The only problem I have is the All Blacks are so exceptionally good at absorbing pressure and niggling around the breakdown that I just hope that the guys mentally stay strong, that if they spend 20 minutes in the All Blacks half and only come away with 6 points, that it's okay, that they've still got another 60 minutes to go. And if we can keep the pressure on them for the entire game and put them to the sword, I think we could do it. I think we'll win on Saturday.
Now, before we continue with the big test, because we'll close off on that, there is a small matter of a wooden spoon. And would you believe it, Argentina will be playing at home against a very out-of-sorts Australian team. And let's be honest, I mean, as Jean de Villiers said after the game on Saturday, to beat a side like Australia 28-8 and leave disappointed says a lot about the Boks. But 28-8, any other time of the year, we'd all be sitting here rolling in the aisles, laughing at how we absolutely smashed them.
True story.
And they got a lucky try. So we smashed them proper. The Argies have got an outstanding chance to finish third and pick up their first ever win against Australia.
And bearing in mind that the Argentinians only lost by a point in Australia,
yes.
And they've been at home for a couple of weeks now,
and
they pushed the All Blacks last week. Those guys are on fire. They're on fire. And I actually played against the Argentinian Old Croc side last night, and we had a chat with the guys. They are so amped. They're actually going to Ellis Park to watch the game, and they're going to support the Springboks. They love the country, but they said that they all of them, because they're not biased at all, said they'll win on Saturday.
Yeah. Well, that game's at 20-1 on Saturday, Sunday morning. If you're up and about, boys and girls,
I should be probably starting my second braai for the day by then. I think it's well worth staying up for that game.
The Argentinians have made 2 changes. Felipe Contepomi obviously gets rested for the games they don't believe they can win, and then they bring him back for the ones that they want to have a full crack at, because he's back into the side. For the Wallabies, Israel Folau, didn't he just disappear at Newlands? Adam Ashley Cooper continues out on the wing. Very strange call again. Kuradrani didn't do much wrong, but didn't do much at all in the centres. Joe Tamani on the other wing. Quade Cooper, Will Genia after an impressive performance off the bench after Nick White.
Bit of trouble in paradise with Will Genia. Spoke last week to someone. Sorry, you mentioned that he's not really a team boy. So interesting to see what happens. But Nick White's been pretty handy, but I think Genia is the answer.
Yeah, so they've made a couple of changes. I'm going to go with a 4-point win for Argentina. Stretch.
I think Argentina are going to win by 12.
Really?
Yeah, I think they're going to win-win.
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 And Australia are going to lose.
Just while Don's busy writing that in, now we've got the yellow cap at. If you go onto the yellowcap.com and have a little look see at the site, they got quite an interesting poll over there. Can the Boks beat the All Blacks with the bonus points? And your options are: it's possible, but not this time. With difficulty, but yes. Hell yeah, and not a chance. So
I went hell yeah.
Yeah, well, I've gone with difficulty, but yes. But it's a great little poll and good to see. And let's see what you guys think. So it's www.theyellowcap.com. It's on the side of the site, on the left hand side. You pop down to the poll.
Right, on to the big one. In closing, we've got 4 minutes to talk this one through, which is probably
Never
not going to be
happen.
enough. For the All Blacks, Ben Smith, form of his life. I think I stand corrected, but he's got 9 tries this season.
It's fine. He'll stay on 9 tries by the end of this.
Conrad Smith and Mao Nonu. How Nonu is still playing rugby after that shoulder charge on De Villiers. That should have been a 2 or 3 week suspension in my view, but it wasn't. Richie McCaw is back. A big call by...
After an injury.
Yeah, Roerpoel with his, I think... The All Blacks were pulling a fast one, but why would they pull a fast one by taking him off the field as early as they did in that game? But he is back, made a miraculous recovery from an injury that was supposed to keep him out for the season.
More precautionary. What did you fall over there? None. Have you got a graze on your knee? I think you should come off and let's just get that checked for you.
And then Tony Woodcock is there with Charlie Farmoina, and the Franks brother who pulled up with a groin injury against Argentina. He's out of the game. Or is that right? Is it Woodcock that got injured and it's Franks that's playing? Anyway, I need to double check these sides.
Fine enough, just give me a sec.
The rest of the side is pretty much unchanged. Obviously McCaw will take over the captaincy, and yeah, that's about that, really.
Yeah, front row, Tony Woodcock, Andrew Hall, Charlie Farmoina.
Okay, so it was right. For the Bokke, a couple of changes. The big one being Bismarck being given an opportunity to come smash some more All Blacks at Ellis Park.
I hate that oak. He must be... There's like angry steam all around his face and his body at them. Imagine how empty he is. He's still got 2 more sleeps. I'm struggling with 2 more sleeps. How angry is that oak going to be?
And then the other change obviously sees Jandre Kruger come in because Flip is suspended,
which I'm happy with. I think he had a great game last few games off the bench and everything. I'm very happy with him. He's kind of cemented. In the very beginning, we was chatting about him, and we all said that you said to me that Heineke Meyer is not a big fan of his, and he was only put in through injuries. And I've always been quite happy to have him there. I think he does the job well, and this year's picked up a little bit.
He needs to hit rucks hard on Saturday, proper hard.
We've got enough guys to do that, thank God. So
I know,
if he doesn't,
but with his pace, he's always at the breakdowns before a lot of those other bigger guys, and he needs to hit them harder. And then there's an injury cloud over JJ Engelbrecht. He's got a bruise. Or as the doctor said, a hematoma in the quad. Jan Safontaine bracketed with him. They'll make a call on that tomorrow, so watch that one. I'd love to see Jan have a go.
Yes, I know, but my big thing is, where will you play him? Will you play him at 12 or 13?
Heineke's definitely said John starts at 12, irrespective of who's at 13. I'd play him at 13 against the All Blacks, given the way Jean's been going this season, but I do understand where you're coming from. And then, as we said, the other big change is Franco van der Merwe will come off the bench for a test cap. Fully deserved. He has bided his time superbly. Heineke Meyer has sung his praises this week about how he's a team man and he's accepted decisions like going to play Currie Cup when Peter Steph du Toit was brought back into the box squad. But Meyer said it was always going to be Franco first because it was just about getting Steph du Toit back into the Bok mix after being out injured. And then obviously Juan de Jong is bracketed with Jan Safontaine depending on how JJ Engelbrecht goes. Big news for the Boks. Second week running is another 50 mark for a Springbok. The Beast Mtarawira will run out at Ellis Park, and when he runs out, I'm getting goosebumps sitting here, and I'm going to be sitting at home watching it on TV because 50, 60, 70,000 people at Ellis Park are all going to shout in unison as he runs out on his own, Beast! And that alone is going to drive the Boks onto an 8-point win.
Massive. 152, 153 caps for the front row alone.
Yeah.
We're in for a massive, massive game.
I think Tony would... Tony Woodcock and Andrew Hoare have got 179 between them.
What about you?
But yeah, the three boys from Durban all getting their 50 caps this season. Outstanding work. As I said, I'm going box by 8. I'm calling the 4-try win with the All Blacks denied a bonus point, and I'd really like it to be that way so that we don't have to whinge and moan about Raymond Twat next week.
I'll be honest with you. I think the only thing that's going to shut up the bitterness would be Boks winning the rugby championship. However, I say the Boks win by 10.
Sharky, you cursed them. You should have gone New Zealand because that always goes against you. It's too late now. You can't take it back.
Boks. Next. Boks by 10. And I'm not going to answer the 4-try question. So don't even bother.
Yeah. I can't wait. 5 o'clock Saturday. There's a lot of rugby in between for you to watch. But from the perspective of your average rugby South African fan here on Driving Maul, it's come on, Bokker!
Oh, massive. Buddy?
I'm going to play out with a little bit of John Fogerty, Bad Moon Rising. And then, for the hell of it, I'm going to play that full Leon Schuster interview from last year where he's talking about the Springboks, and we can all hear how far we've come in a year.
Yeah.
Because irrespective of whether we finish first or second in this rugby championship, at the end of the day, this Boks side is going from strength to strength under Heineken Meyer, and as a Springbok fan, it is exciting.
But I can't wait. I'm beside myself. Come on the Boks and come on the Sharks. Big game. Big game.
Well, Province can also set all kinds of records this season by going a season without a bonus point, and I'd really like them to continue in that vein. You've been listening to Driving Maul on Loud Radio, where blokes judge rugby. We'll catch you next week. Enjoy the rugby, children.